Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about diamond and some of the mechanical properties that are involved in that material. Now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the history of diamond and some of that stuff. So, diamond was originally found in the 14th century in India, where it was thought that the gems had healing properties. This is now known to be false in that diamonds are simply biocompatible, not healing. Diamond is also the hardest naturally occurring material that you can find in the earth. The largest diamond ever found was called the Cullinan, and it weighs in at about 1.33 pounds. It was found on January 25th, 1905 in Pretoria, South Africa. It weighs roughly 3,100 carats, which carats are a measurement that is used for diamonds and other gems. And as you can see in that picture there, that is the Cullinan. And then in the 1950s, the Gemological Institute of America created a universal grading scale called the 4 C's. And those 4 C's for grading diamond are cut, color, clarity, and carat weight. So now just a little bit about some of the properties of diamond. It has a Young's modulus of 1050 to 1210 gigapascals, has a shear modulus of 440 to 470 gigapascals, and the yielding strength of diamond is 35 gigapascals. And then as you can see in the stress strain curve, there are multiple different curves, and that comes from the fact that diamonds can either be found naturally in the earth and mined, or there is stuff about lab-grown materials, which I will talk to you guys a little bit later, but each diamond is a little bit different, so that explains why the stress strain curves are all a little bit different. So just a little bit more about the mechanical and material properties. The only bonding that occurs in diamond is strong covalent bonding, because the only thing that makes up diamond is carbon. It is solely made up of carbon atoms, so only covalent bonds happen. And then an interesting fact is that at 1 atm of pressure, diamond doesn't melt, it simply vaporizes when exposed to extremely high temperatures. And then diamond has a FCC lattice structure, and as you can see in the picture of the unit cell on the right, the edge length of that unit cell is 0.357 nanometers. And then if you look at the other picture, you can see the grain boundaries in diamond when taking pictures with the electron scanning microscope. So often diamonds are found in the earth through processes of mining, just like many other gems and minerals and metals and all sorts of stuff like that. And as you can see in the picture on the right, it creates a big hole and it's strip mined to try and find diamonds. However, there is new research that shows that diamonds can be grown in a lab setting, which is very interesting. And there's 2 ways that they know how to do this currently. The first is called high pressure, high temperature, abbreviated HPHT, and that is a rarely used method for growing diamonds. The more often used method is chemical vapor deposition, abbreviated CVD. And then the CVD process is a process that uses diamond seeds, is what they're called, and they are very small pieces of natural diamond, and they are heated up and put on a plate, and then once they're on that plate, it's like a little gelatin plate that they can stay on, then they're heated up with methane gas and some sort of plasma hydrogen compound, and then once they heat them up to the ideal temperature of between 900 and 1200 degrees Celsius, they're sealed and left there with all the components together to grow more diamonds. So just a little bit about the environmental factors that come into play when looking at the mining and growing diamonds and what kind of carbon and water footprint they leave behind. Lab-grown diamonds create much less waste than mined diamonds do, so they're overall more environmentally friendly. And as you can see, the carbon dioxide waste that is produced by lab-grown diamonds is roughly 25 pounds, while mined diamonds produce around 145 pounds. And then with water, the lab-grown diamonds produce roughly 20 pounds of water as waste per carat, and then the mined diamonds produce 125 pounds of water per carat of waste. So diamonds are very recyclable. They have a very high recycling factor because of this CVD process. As you can see in the picture on the left, those seed plates are where they put diamond seeds, and when diamonds fracture or there's something wrong with naturally occurring diamonds, they can use those diamonds as the seeds to create new diamonds, which in the graphic on the left shows you the little bit of the process of the CVD with the plasma and the carbon and the seed plates and the heating microwave beams. But then if you look at the two small pictures on the very right, those little black square-like things on the edge of each of those two squares are the diamonds. They are simply appearing black because of a thin graphite layer that forms on top of the diamonds when they're growing in the lab. This graphite forms because graphite and diamond have the same chemical structure. They are pure carbon materials. So that thin layer of graphite is cleaned off, and underneath you have newly formed diamonds that you have grown in the lab, which is why the recycling is so high, because they can recycle all these old diamonds that are not useful anymore and use them to grow new diamonds. So one of the main uses of diamonds, as everyone knows, is jewelry, the big diamond ring that everyone knows about and everyone wants one day. So that's the whole thing. Mainly what diamonds are used for is in jewelry and accessories and all that sorts of stuff. And then of those diamonds that aren't used for jewelry, they're often used as hardness testers on tips of the hardness tester, because diamond is the hardest material known to man. And so since they have this diamond tipped tip that they can scratch and dent materials with, they know that it will not fracture and that it can scratch any surface. So all these surfaces are hardness tested against diamond, since diamond is the hardest material known to man. And then the rest of the diamonds that aren't used for either these hardness tester tips or the jewelry are often used for tools. They coat metal blades in diamond, and it's not diamond that you can see. It's a very, very thin layer of diamond, and it's only used to help these metal blades cut through other metal easier. Since they are coated in diamond, they have a little bit harder of a surface so that they are able to cut through other like strong metals. So just a little bit about failure and fracture in diamonds. Being the hardest naturally occurring material, it is very, very, very difficult to fracture. Oftentimes it can only be fractured by another diamond, and that is because they have the same hardness. They're able to fracture each other. And then another way that they can fracture is during the laser cutting process, because these lasers are designed to cut diamonds. So if it's moved in the wrong way, it can fracture the diamond. If it hits a weak point in the crystal structure, the laser is meant to break through that sort of stuff. So that's how a lot of fractures can happen. But these fractures can be filled in and repaired through certain processes with laser cutters and all that sort of stuff. So if you look at the picture on the bottom left, you can see the before with some slight fractures in like where the hazy parts are in the diamond. That's where the fractures are on the inside. And then the after picture shows what is done to kind of repair these diamonds and how they look after a repaired process.